Adam Cole is spared, baby. We are live, man. In what was a busy day in the WWE with Jimmy Uso being arrested for another DUI, NXT had its Great American Bash. Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly. What is the fate of Adam Cole, as he is rumored to be heading to the main roster? Io Shirai and Zoey Stark, they challenge for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. Cameron Grimes and LA Knight for the $1 Million Championship. And Karrion Kross foreshadows his own demise as he defends the NXT title against Johnny Gargano next week. Plus, I got all your NXT news and rumors coming out of the Bash. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Off the Script Bash right here for the NXT post show right here on Off the Script. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your NXT Great American Bash post show for July 6th, 2021. I am JD from New York. Welcome to the OTS venue. We got a lot to go over tonight, man. But I am happy to say that Adam Cole and Io Shirai are safe from the clutches of the evil Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard. For now, they are both safe. I don't know how much longer that will be, but I am happy to report that I do not think that either one of them will be headed to the main roster. Neither one of them are getting demoted, which is a great thing. Tonight was a great show, man. NXT was a great show tonight. I was very pleased with what happened. I would have made one slight change to a certain match, but I'm not going to complain about it because it was a great match. But the Great American Bash, really great show. Had a great flow to it. I'm a big fan of these in-between shows before we get to TakeOver. I like it. But it definitely seems like there's a change in the air. Change is looming in NXT. It may be, tonight, may be an end of an era. Karrion Kross is already doomed to go to the main roster. Now, I've been advocating for this for a little bit myself. I'm not a really big, I'm not a big guy on pulling talent right away, but Karrion Kross has been more than ready. He's been more than ready for the main roster. I can't say the same about Bronson Reed. I do not think Bronson Reed is anywhere close to being ready, but here we are. He wasn't even on the fucking show tonight. He lost the North American Championship last week to Isaiah Swerve Scott, which, again, I have no problem with Swerve winning the championship. I think Swerve is awesome. But I don't necessarily think that Bronson Reed losing the championship in an unadvertised match. I didn't even cover NXT last week. I was away. I don't think Bronson Reed losing the North American Championship in an unadvertised match randomly is what I call good creative. But Karrion Kross is doomed. And if his main event appearances have just kind of gone the way they have been, and everybody sees what WWE is gearing up for as far as his demotion, I don't really have a lot of faith in Karrion Kross succeeding on the main roster. I really don't. But it definitely feels like a changing of the guard, man. It definitely feels like a change is in the air. Before you know it, SummerSlam is going to be here. There's a draft coming. Karrion Kross and Bronson Reed are rumored to be part of the draft. I thought Adam Cole was definitely going to be a part. He still may very well be a part of the draft. Because I'm assuming we're getting a takeover that weekend as well. So we don't know what's going on with him. But as far as I know, Karrion Kross and Bronson Reed, Shotzi Blackheart is another one. These are three names that are more than certainly going to end up in the draft and make their way to the main roster. Tonight was definitely the beginning of a change in the era of NXT. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. That remains to be seen. But it was another positive show from NXT tonight. I thought it was a great show. Excellent main event between Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole. I actually thought this match was better than their TakeOver match. I really did. I thought the same thing about LA Knight and Cameron Grimes as well. That ladder match that we saw at TakeOver in your house, I thought the match that they had tonight was better than their ladder match. So go figure. Tag team titles on the line as well. Tommaso Ciampa and Toothless Timothy Thatcher going up against MSK. A lot of talk in the IWC, a lot of talk on social media about MSK getting booed tonight. I don't really deem that a big deal. I just look at Tommaso Ciampa being more popular than everybody in the ring. So, obviously, if that is going to be the guy that you got in there with MSK, I don't see Tommaso Ciampa being booed inside the Capitol Wrestling Center. I don't necessarily think turning MSK heel is the right thing to do, being that there are majority heel tag teams in NXT. But I would not have had them walk out of the show tonight retaining the tag team championships. I would have absolutely made the change. I would have absolutely put the titles on Tommaso Ciampa and Toothless Timmy. Io Shirai and Zoey Stark had a feeling they were going to win the women's tag team championships. Io is also spared, thank God. I don't know who would have had it worse, man. Adam Cole or Io Shirai. Adam Cole for his size, or Io Shirai because the women's division right now on both Raw and SmackDown are fucking god-awful. They can't even book Asuka correctly. Look at what they did to Rhea Ripley. Io Shirai stands no chance, then, now, and forever on that women's roster. They won the tag team championships tonight. We saw the return of Teagan Nox. All those battery vignettes. No. Charlotte was not charging her new lithium-ion battery on Tuesday nights. She was not announcing that to the public. It was actually Teagan Nox being fully recharged. And this rumor was spoiled after Monday Night Raw because Teagan Nox actually worked a dark match. I don't know if this is going to be on main event or not, but she worked a dark match before Monday Night Raw, which kind of gave away that Teagan Nox was indeed the one behind the battery charging vignettes. So she's back. She cost Candice and Indi Hartwell the tag team titles. Io and Zoey Stark are now your new women's tag team champions. And LA Knight, man. LA Knight. My boy LA Knight, still the $1 million champion. He's got a new butler now, Cameron Grimes. Seems like Triple H is going all in on the sympathy card for Cameron Grimes before he wins that $1 million championship, which I will like to see happen eventually, and what I'm predicting to be at the next TakeOver show. So we got a couple of weeks of vignettes at least with Cameron Grimes being a butler for LA Knight. Should be very entertaining. So we're going to go over all that. I got news on Adam Cole. He actually addressed his main roster demise. Everybody was talking about him potentially being called up. He actually talked about it. I got his quotes. He also talked about the breakup of the Undisputed Era, being that this is his second match with Kyle O'Reilly. And he talked about how everybody calls NXT minor leagues and how it bothers him. But I think even he knows full and well that NXT is not the same NXT that he was leading with the Undisputed Era as the NXT champion. So I got news on that. Samoa Joe, I got news on that as well. He is absolutely in the mindset of coming back to in-ring action. So I got news on what Triple H said about that and so much more right here on the Off the Script NXT Great American Bash post show. If you guys missed my upload earlier this evening, man, literally around 3 o'clock Eastern time, I uploaded a extra about the Jimmy Uso situation. Jimmy Uso was arrested earlier on Monday morning, and this is a terrible situation for everybody involved. His family. This is a terrible situation for his wife. Terrible situation for his brother, Heyman, Roman Reigns. This is not good. And I go into detail about what I think about it and how I have people in my life that are very important to me that are struggling with the same thing that Jimmy Uso is struggling with. We talked about how I do not believe he will be fired. He should be reprimanded for sure. He should absolutely be sent to WWE rehab. And if not, they should threaten him with termination. But he needs to go to rehab. I don't know if he's going to be back on TV Friday. I don't know what his future holds. But he absolutely ruined plans for he and Jay to win the Tag Team Championships at SummerSlam against Rey and Dominic Mysterio. That was the rumored plan going into SummerSlam. Now Roman Reigns will be without the Usos as he challenges Edge at Money in the Bank. And John Cena rumored at SummerSlam. So it's going to be a very interesting situation. I go over all the potential questions that are raised coming out of this situation. So if you guys want to go check that out, it is literally on the homepage. Go to the recent uploads. You'll see it right there. Off the Script Extra. Thank you to everybody that showed up today and supported. Video did fantastic. It was at 10,000 views in like 3 hours. So thank you guys for all the support and wanting to hear my opinion on Jimmy Uso. So that is live on the channel right now. Also, Monday Night Raw from last night. We went over a ton of shit on why Monday Night Raw is limping into Money in the Bank, and last night's show was absolutely no different. Just god-awful programming, once again, from Vince McMahon and company on the main roster. So if you guys missed that, go and check it out. Both of those videos are on the homepage right now. Follow me on social media, at JDfromNY206. That is Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Hit that thumbs up. We got 266 likes in the live stream chat right now. I'm going to leave a very soft goal of 500. If you guys can get to 500 likes today, I would be happy. So if you guys have not hit that thumbs up, please go and do so right now. It is absolutely free to do so, and you're helping me out by virtually doing nothing. So hit that thumbs up and support the video right now. Make sure you guys go and support. A couple of ways to do that. Number one, Patreon. Patreon.com/JDfromNY206. Bonfire for your official t-shirts, man. We got the new merchandise being released. We got the Off the Script official Summer Scam t-shirts brought back for the summer, man. You guys are going to have 3 colors. You're going to have it in black, you're going to have it in white, and you're going to have it in yellow. Maybe orange, depending on how it looks on the shirt. But you guys got the Summer Scam t-shirt, the lamest party of the summer. Coming to Bonfire tomorrow, so let's try and blow the goal away, man. We did great the first time around with the Summer Scam shirts, so we're doing it again this summer. Make sure you guys check out today's sponsor, man. I'm very happy about today's sponsor. I love these guys so much. Homage. HOMAGE.com. It is linked in the live stream chat, and it's in the description of this very video down below, man. You guys are instantly going to get 20% off when you use code SCRIPT at checkout on every single purchase, man. You guys love vintage t-shirts? You guys like retro t-shirts? I know I do. I love it. And if you guys go to homage.com and you look up WWE, because there's a section for WWE, you're going to find yourself some damn good-looking vintage retro WWF t-shirts, man. And they are incredible quality. So go and check that out, man. I just got myself 3 new ones. I got myself a Bret the Hitman Hart retro t-shirt. I got myself a ravishing Rick Rude t-shirt. And I got myself a Mankind t-shirt to add to my HBK Heartbreak Kid t-shirt, man. Homage.com, HOMAGE.com. Use code SCRIPT at checkout to save 20% off. And I want to thank them for supporting the podcast right here on Off the Script. Great American Bash, man. Start at the top. We go right into an NXT Tag Team Championship match. This is between Tommaso Ciampa, Timothy Thatcher, and MSK. NXT Tag Team Championships on the line. This was a very good match. I love this match. I was hoping for Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher to win this match. The one thing that came out of this, man, a lot of people were talking about MSK and how they were being booed in the Capitol Wrestling Center in this match with Ciampa and Thatcher. I don't necessarily look at this as a fan, me personally. I don't necessarily look at this as a bad thing. I don't. And a lot of people were like, well, why are they getting booed? MSK is a great team. MSK is a great babyface team. They are. I love MSK. I said very good things about MSK, man. They are 2 guys that embody the old NXT and what we loved about the old NXT, man. They would fit like a glove in NXT. And this is the product of you putting 2 babyface teams in the ring together. Somebody's going to be a heel at the end of it, and somebody's going to end up being the overwhelming favorite babyface to win this match. And that's exactly what happened. I don't see why people are making a big deal about it and why they're really scratching their head as if it's some fucking scientific equation. Why is MSK getting booed? It's a very simple solution, folks. It's a very simple answer. Because Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher are more over than MSK are. I don't expect Tommaso Ciampa to be in a match with MSK and be booed out of the building. Tommaso Ciampa is literally one of the heart and souls of NXT. I do not expect him to be booed at the Capitol Wrestling Center. Another reason why I could believe MSK is being booed in this match, and these types of fans, they are very in sync with what is going on with this product, with this brand. It would not surprise me at all to know that these fans might be getting a little bored of MSK. It would not surprise me to know that these fans are thinking, MSK is a good team, but seems like WWE got behind them too much, too quick, too fast. Which is a definite thing. You know when WWE does that to somebody or does that to a specific team. Triple H absolutely did that with MSK. I would have never had MSK win the Dusty Classic at all. That was their first mistake. Now, everybody looked at it as not a big deal, but I would have never given MSK the Dusty Classic. I would have never given them the win over the grizzled young veterans. I would have absolutely had the grizzled young veterans win the Dusty Classic and then the tag team championships. That's the problem that Triple H and his team gave themselves. You pushed them too hard, too fast, and too quick. The Dusty Classic should have easily went to a heel team with the babyface team chasing the heel team and then winning the tag team championships when the time was right. You gave them the tag team championships. And I got to ask you guys a simple question, man. What exactly have they done with the tag team championships that has brought more spotlight to the NXT Tag Team Championships? Has both guys, have MSK made the tag team championships look better for the reign that they're having? And the answer to that question, in my honest opinion, is no. They haven't made the tag team championship look any better than they were before they grabbed them, before they won them. So I don't know why, looking back at it now, and I said it then, because they were my pick to win the entire tournament, I don't know why the grizzled young veterans didn't win the Dusty Classic and then the tag team championships. They could have had a great heel run, and then the babyface team of MSK come and win the titles. But now you put them in a situation where you've been building Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher up, and of course they're going to be booed because that's what Ciampa does. Ciampa is the heart and soul next to Johnny Gargano of NXT. He's not going to be booed in the Capitol Wrestling Center. I think NXT made a huge mistake by keeping the belts on MSK. I would have absolutely given them to Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. Not because I don't think MSK is a great team. I just think it was poor timing to give them the tag team championships right away. It was almost as if Triple H couldn't wait to bust a nut. It looks like and it sounds like Triple H couldn't wait to just blow a load all over fucking MSK and just immediately give them everything. Give them the tournament, give them the tag team championships. It's like a kid in a candy store. Oh, look at these guys. They're great. We got a top tag team from Impact. We're going to show Impact exactly how to build stars. And they gave them the run that they gave them now. I'm not saying that they're not great. I just don't necessarily think they've done anything with those tag team titles. Whereas Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher, if they won the tag team championships, just based on who Ciampa is and how Thatcher looks even more legit standing next to Ciampa, I think that those two guys would have given the NXT Tag Team Championships a little bit more polish. I do think that Thatcher and Ciampa would have given the Tag Team Championships a little bit more importance. So that's just my opinion on that. Otherwise, a great match. I have no thumbs down at all about this match. No problem outside the outcome that I would have changed about this match. Great open. Question is, who does MSK go and drop those titles to? Is it going to be Imperium? Is it going to be the grizzled young veterans? Is it going to be another team that we don't know of? They may not even be a duo yet. Nobody knows. But who exactly are they going to drop those titles to? It still could be Thatcher and Ciampa, for all we know. WWE likes running it back again, especially after a great match like tonight. They like running it back. So we'll see what happens, man. Tag team division is still a little weak. Thatcher and Ciampa are great. MSK is great. You got Imperium. You got the grizzled young veterans. Outside of that, you really got nobody. You got Legado del Fantasma, but they're not really factoring into anything. They've had their fair share of title shots and have been feuding with MSK ever since MSK's been in NXT. So it's not really, it's not really competitive in that tag team division. They got some questions that they need to answer for themselves. So this one went about 20 minutes. This was awesome. We got both teams going at it. We go to commercial break. There's a hot tag. Lee ran, and he was a house on fire. He cleaned house. He was on a roll, and he was laid out by Thatcher. Quickly taken out by Thatcher. Thatcher low bridge Lee. He ran the ropes. And then he tumbled to the outside, did Lee. The challengers now, they targeted Lee, but Thatcher is cut off. It's cut off. So Ciampa, he's in. He's rocked by a jumping knee strike. And MSK looked to set up their finisher. Ciampa escaped with Thatcher's help making a save. So all of this would backfire. Thatcher hit his partner with an uppercut by mistake. So there that goes. Ciampa went down. Thatcher walked into a super kick off of the miscue. Lee went crazy. And he hit a handspring flipping move. And Ciampa nailed him in midair with a shotgun dropkick. So Ciampa, he gets Project Ciampa on Lee. And Lee countered another move. And Ciampa turned the tide for his team. Some quick tags with Thatcher. Carter countered a super air raid crash. MSK double-teamed Ciampa. Carter with a swanton bomb. Almost went halfway across the ring with it. And Lee with a beautiful corkscrew senton. That yielded them a 2 count. So Thatcher dragged Lee out of the ring. Thatcher also took out Carter with a right hand. So we got Ciampa and Thatcher. And they cut off the champions towards the end of this match. Ciampa executed an assisted fairy tale ending on Lee. Thatcher applied an ankle lock. Carter came back in to make a save. Lee trapped Thatcher in a small package out of nowhere after the save and pinned Thatcher 1, 2, 3. So MSK retains the tag team championships. Again, I don't know if that would have been the outcome I would have done. I would have absolutely had Ciampa and Thatcher win the tag team championships, but Triple H seems to be all in on MSK. Question is, who do they drop those tag team titles to, if not Ciampa and Thatcher? So we have to see what happens with them moving into the next TakeOver show. As I said, the tag team division is looking a little weak right now on the black and gold brand. Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross. This is the end of the line. TikTok. That catchphrase rings true and true every single day as this guy counts down the hours, the minutes, the seconds, until Bruce Pritchard gets his hands on Scarlett Bordeaux and rips her right from the act. And this guy's walking into Monday Night Raw as a solo act. No smoke, no theatrics, no cool theme music, no Scarlett emerging from the smoke, singing this guy to the ring. None of that's going to be done. This guy's days are numbered, man. It is all over for Mr. Karrion Kross. So, William Regal and Samoa Joe are in the ring. And Samoa Joe is standing there with his arms crossed. He means business. Regal brings up the recent happenings between Johnny Gargano and Karrion Kross, then demands both of them come out to the ring. So we have Johnny Gargano coming up by himself. He's not with The Way. He's not with Austin Theory. He's all by himself. Crowd is cheering him in the Capitol Wrestling Center. Gargano is greeted with a Johnny Wrestling chant. So it looks like Johnny Gargano is trending towards that baby face role in this match. Out comes Kross. No Scarlett. No Scarlett for Karrion Kross, which worries me. This is a very worrisome sight. What is going on with Scarlett? Are Triple H and team getting everybody ready to see Kross without Scarlett on the main roster? Have they already pulled her from the act? I don't know, but she didn't come out. He was wearing a beautiful suit, NXT title around his waist, and he comes out, Kross sucks chant in the Capitol Wrestling Center. So Regal says he brought them here today because things need to be settled. Gargano said, Kross sucks. Let's get this right out there first. You suck. That's what Johnny Gargano said. So like I said, we got a you suck chant or a Kross sucks chant starting up in the CWC. Gargano says he's been living rent-free in Kross's head for weeks, and there's a lot of room up there, and he's been living like a king. Gargano goes on about how Kross saw a takeover that Kross is not on his level, which is why Kross tried to hit him with a car last week on NXT. Gargano says Kross is afraid of him. Regal announces Gargano will challenge Karrion Kross for the NXT title next week, next Tuesday. Kross is not happy about this, obviously. So he kind of brushed off the idea that he's afraid of Gargano. He goes on and on about how they are not alike and how he has more than just a size advantage over Johnny Wrestling. Kross says he thinks about the same three things every day when he wakes up. Number one, he's never losing the NXT title. Number two, one day he will main event WrestleMania. And number three, he will go on to become a WWE champion. So I found this to be very interesting, man. It's almost as if Kross himself is foreshadowing what is to come for himself on the main roster. Will he be losing the NXT title? I don't think that's the right way to go about it. But Triple H and William Regal and everybody in charge, they got to get the belt off Kross some way, somehow. I don't think that losing to Johnny Gargano is the best way to go about that. I don't know if I would be a fan of that. I'm a fan of Johnny being the world champion, but I'm not a fan of Johnny beating Kross no matter what. If it's through a fuck finish, if it's by a pinfall, because of an interference, I don't think Kross should be pinned at all. Any sort of weakness that you expose on Karrion Kross will be taken to the main roster. Because a lot of people made a big fucking deal about this guy's entrance not being the entrance that we all have come to know and love on main event. Now you're going to make him lose the NXT championship? I don't know if that's the right way to go about it, man. I really don't. I think Kross should remain undefeated on his way to demotion to the main roster. I really do. You don't get many guys like Kross coming into the WWE with the promo ability of a Kross and the size and the demeanor and the body language and the presence of a Karrion Kross. You just can't be throwing losses around to somebody like that. This is why you have creative writers. There has to be another way to get the belt off of Kross. Having him lose to Johnny is one thing. Being pinned is not one of the options. I don't know what happens next week, but maybe Samoa Joe gets involved and they come up with some very creative way to take the belt off of him. If it was up to me, I'd have him beat Johnny. I'd have him destroy Regal. I'd have him destroy management. And then I'd have Samoa Joe enact, being that he's second in command, that Karrion Kross relinquishes the championship. He's done. You got to come up with a way to take the belt off of him that doesn't result in this man's shoulders being pinned to the mat. Strip him of the title. Have him vacate the title. Whatever the case may be, you cannot have him lose the NXT championship to Johnny and go about it that way. I don't want to see this guy on the main roster, man. I really don't. You know, I called for it before he was hurt. He was hurt, and I'm like, you know, this guy's coming back. He dropped the title. Keith Lee was the champion. Where the fuck he is, I don't know. But he got hurt, and I'm like, this guy doesn't need NXT. I mean, it was legitimately within 4 weeks, we were like, Triple H is already grooming this guy for a main roster run, man. I mean, he's got everything that you could possibly ask for. Everything that Vince McMahon could possibly ask for on the main roster. He's got the presence. He's got the theme. He's got the everything. He's got the woman. He's got everything. So the fact that he went back down to NXT was not surprising, but it was surprising at the same time. He could have easily showed up in the Royal Rumble. He could have easily showed up at Royal Rumble and had a presence at WrestleMania. They didn't want to go about that. Triple H wanted to hold on to him just a little bit longer because he knew exactly what was going to happen when Vince McMahon needed to fill in those slots, those gaps on the main roster. But then we go through the vicious cycle all over again. How many times is Vince going to take from NXT and then not use what he takes? How many NXT talents on the main roster now are not being used from the last couple of batches of NXT talents? Now he's going to take Kross. He's going to take Shotzi. Possibly Toni Storm. She was another one that got a tryout match. Teagan got a tryout match. Bronson Reed. The fuck do you need Bronson Reed on the main roster for? You got Bronson Reed and Keith Lee. If Keith Lee didn't get used correctly, you guys think that Bronson Reed's going to get used correctly? I am still within every given fucking reason, to me, why Keith Lee is off TV, and that is because he needs to lose weight via WWE management. So what are they going to think about when they look at Bronson Reed? That Bronson Reed is, a thin, slim pro wrestler? Guy's just as big as Keith Lee. But the only thing Bronson Reed has going for him is that he's part Samoan. I don't know if he's a part of the Anoa'i family. I don't think he is. But he's Samoan. And if he's Samoan, that gives him a better chance than Keith Lee ever had, because WWE always embraces the Samoan heritage. But Karrion Kross, man, he pretty much foreshadowed what is going to be happening in the months and weeks ahead. He wants to main event WrestleMania? No doubt in my mind he will. He wants to win the WWE Championship. There's no doubt in my mind he will. But he better be doing it with Scarlett Bordeaux as his valet. And we better be seeing everything that we saw through his growth in NXT on the main roster. Otherwise, this is a failure already. Telling you right now. NXT is a foundation for talents to get ready for the main roster. Triple H is doing Vince's job for them. He's doing all the hard work. All Vince has to do is sit back and let Triple H's toys go to work. Wind them up, send them out there, and sit back with a nice iced coffee and watch them go. You don't have to do anything. There's no need to change anything. But here we are. We're already fucking shaking in our fucking shorts because Vince is already changing Karrion Kross from what we see of him right now. Nobody wants to see Scarlett in the ring wrestling. I guarantee you. People want to see Scarlett, but they don't want to see Scarlett end up like Lana. Nobody wants to see that. So he says these things. Kross says Gargano thinks he's going to do all these cool technical moves, but this is real life, and in real life, people like Gargano get beat up by people like Karrion Kross. Kross says it looks like Gargano put on a pair of his wife's jeans. I never understood those skinny jeans, man. I tried them on just for the sake of it when I went to the store the last time I shopped for jeans. You wouldn't catch me dead wearing skinny jeans, man. Oh, my goodness. So he made fun of Gargano's jeans, saying that he put on his wife's jeans. Regal announces that Samoa Joe, will be the special guest referee next week for this world title match. Gargano loves this idea, jumped up and down, celebrating. Gargano goes to exit the ring and says he will see Kross next week. He also says, it's funny you said something about my wife's jeans. Because, Kross, you couldn't even lace my wife's boots, he says. Kross says, why wait until next week? He charged at Gargano, and quickly Samoa Joe got in his face, and they had a stare down. Kross was mouthing off to Joe. Joe was just staring a hole through Kross. This was great. I thought this was awesome. This face-to-face was really great television. I'm excited about next week's match. They better come up with something creative, man. I do not think Kross getting pinned and losing that championship is the right way to go about it. Next time we see Kross, WWE Draft on Monday Night Raw. Godspeed, Mr. Kross. Godspeed. If what we saw from Keith Lee on the main roster, I have absolutely no faith in WWE using him to his maximum potential, man. And I hate saying that against a Bronx guy, man. Kross is a New Yorker through and through. Bronx or Queens, one or the other, I'm not sure. I got to ask my boy Kevin Castle. But he's a New Yorker, man. We stick together. Kross is great. I don't get the hate for Kross. And what is it with everybody saying Kross can't wrestle? Maybe he fell asleep during his matches with Finn Balor. But he's a damn good storyteller. This guy's doomed, man, and I hate to fucking admit that. I really, really hate it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Next week, his fate will be sealed. We're getting a new NXT champion next week, one way or another. $1 million title match. Cameron Grimes versus LA Knight. My boy LA Knight, man. I love it. LA Knight's awesome. This match was actually better than their ladder match at TakeOver in Your House. Some might not agree, but I don't, listen, I wasn't crazy about their ladder match at TakeOver, man. I really wasn't. I thought it was a very formulaic ladder match with a big bump here and a big bump there. They really built up to it. They didn't go in there looking to make it a spot fest, which I appreciate. But I thought tonight's match told a better story. I really did. I was actually in the camp of Cameron Grimes has to win this thing, right? There was no Ted DiBiase there. It was just one-on-one Grimes and LA Knight. $1 million championship. I love the pacing of this match. I thought these guys together tonight really did a great job. And taken right from the top, man. Knight was on offense. We go to commercial break. And the show returned from break. Knight was in control. He was beating down Grimes. He did a Spanish fly. That running Spanish fly that Cameron Grimes does that looks fucking great. He did that to LA Knight. That led to both guys being down at the same time. So they traded strikes once they got up. Then they would trade near falls. Grimes fired up on Knight. Grimes began a comeback. Grimes gets a near fall after a beautiful swinging Uranagi slam. So Grimes skins the cat, gets caught in a torture rack, dropped into a facebuster by LA Knight. 2 count by Knight. Grimes kicked out again after a huge superplex. So Knight, getting frustrated at this point, he goes to the timekeeper, grabs the $1 million title belt. He brought it into the ring. Ref took it from him. Grimes was able to use an O'Connor roll because of this slight distraction. Knight reversed with a handful of tights. I thought it was over, but Grimes kicked out. Knight then takes a poison Rana. Grimes goes for a cover, gets a near fall of his own. So now both guys are on the outside. Knight gives Grimes a DDT on the floor. But the thing is, when the referee took the $1 million championship, he put it right on the apron of the ring. So Grimes went to go grab it. He knocked it out of the ring. So it fell to the floor. So now with both of these guys on the floor, Knight gives Grimes a DDT. Everybody thinking that he gave him a DDT on the floor, but in fact, he gave him a DDT on top of the $1 million championship. So he kind of purposely knew it was there and used it to his advantage, even though Grimes, was in the ring before and Knight had pushed it out of the ring, looking to go retrieve it and use it to cheat his way to a victory. So we used it anyway on the DDT on the outside. So they tease this big count out. Grimes makes it back in the ring by 9. He was on wobbly legs, was Grimes. And he took a headlock DDT in the ring. Knight then covered Grimes for a 1, 2, 3, and that was it. LA Knight has a new butler, and his name is Cameron Grimes. I think LA Knight has a butler that's going to take him to the moon. Cameron Grimes. Man, they're going all in. They're going all in on Cameron Grimes and the sympathy for Cameron Grimes, man. A lot of people wanted him. First of all, a lot of people look at him right now because he lost to Knight twice. A lot of people look at him as a loser. But it seems like they're going all in on the sympathy card for Cameron Grimes. And a lot of people wanted him to win the $1 Million Championship. But, you know, I was one of those people, and I look back at it, and I looked at that segment on the following week's NXT where LA Knight attacked Ted DiBiase, and he stole the $1 Million Champion. No, well, he didn't really steal it, but he grabbed it forcefully, and now he's claiming that he's greater than the $1 Million Man ever was. But I was one of those people that said, you know what, Grimes should have won on that Sunday show, and then come Tuesday when we got that segment with DiBiase being attacked by Knight, I'm like, this is fucking great. That was one of the better segments that NXT's done all year. Knight cut a great promo, and they made him into a bigger heel because they attacked Ted DiBiase. We were all invested in this storyline because Ted DiBiase's involved. And it made Cameron Grimes into a bigger babyface because of what LA Knight did to Ted DiBiase. So I kind of backtracked, and I'm the type of guy that, you know, when he's right, and I will stand by what I say. But when I'm wrong, I will admit I'm wrong. I was wrong on that night, man. I really was. LA Knight winning that match and winning the $1 Million Championship was the right outcome. And now it seems like they're going all in on Cameron Grimes in this sympathy card. He's going to get a nice couple weeks as a butler. There should be some nice comedy skits come out of this. A lot of sympathy is going to be had here for Cameron Grimes. Eventually, Ted DiBiase is going to get involved, and something's going to come out of this where we get one more match, and it probably will be at TakeOver, and Cameron Grimes is going to win the title. And LA Knight, I don't know where he goes from here. He's got the potential to be an NXT champion. He's another one of those guys that, like Karrion Kross, you could put him on the main roster, and he would thrive on the main roster, man. Absolutely. He'd be a breath of fresh air on the main roster. I don't want to wish that death and despair upon him. I don't want to wish that doom upon him, but LA Knight is more than capable of fucking being on a SmackDown. Really. He's got the makings of a superstar, man. It's one of the best things about NXT. I was not a big fan of fucking Eli Drake coming into WWE. I'm like, this is a fucking desperation signing if I ever seen one, man. They shut me up real quick. Maybe I wasn't all that keen on LA Knight. Wasn't keen on the name. Wasn't keen on Eli Drake and his ability. Or I thought he was a rip-off Stone Cold and The Rock. He's great, man. LA Knight is fucking awesome. He's got a quintessential fucking prick-like heel down to a max. He's great. And this is going to really do wonders for Cameron Grimes, man. When all is said and done, he's going to win that $1 Million Championship. The NXT Breakout Tournament is back. It is back. It should be back every year. It should be a yearly thing. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, man. The NXT Breakout Tournament will begin next week, and the tournament includes the following. Trey Baxter, who we saw go up against Kushida. Carmelo Hayes, who we saw also go up against Kushida. And recently, Adam Cole, baby. Great match between those two. He has to be the odds-on favorite so far in the tournament. But he's gotten some shine on NXT. Typically, the way these things, in my honest opinion, the way these things should be booked is the guy that has the biggest superstar potential should not win it at all. You got to go with somebody who is lesser known, somebody who hasn't gotten TV time yet, which I'll get to. There's a couple of guys here that I'm very interested in. Josh Briggs, he was a mainstay in Evolve. He cut his hair. He was he almost looked like a fucking heavy metal singer when I last seen him in Evolve, man. Josh Briggs, from what I remember seeing right here in Queens at Club La Boom for Evolve, he has a great size to him. He moved very well in the ring. He was still relatively young. I don't know what type of training he's undergone at the Performance Center, but I can only imagine he's a lot better now than he was then. So I'm very interested to see how he has come along. He's in this thing. Andre Chase, who I'm not familiar with, which is great because I want to be familiar with him. And a tournament like this, I loved when we got to see, Angel Garza, and we got to see Grimes, and we got to see Loomis for the first time. I love tournaments like this because I don't know who Andre Chase is, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does in the ring. Ikemen Hero Jiro. I believe this guy was on 205 Live, but I don't know how much of 205 is left. So he's in this breakout tournament. Joe Gacy, who I am very familiar with from Evolve as well. He's in this thing. And I don't necessarily think this is a tournament he should win either. But I got my choice. Odyssey Jones. He's a big 405-pound guy. And I believe he was an ex-football player, if I'm not mistaken. So he's in this thing. Don't know how good he's going to be, but we'll see what type of training the football players have undergone inside the Performance Center as well. And then we got my odds-on favorite to win the tournament, man. Duke Hudson. This guy is my odds-on favorite to win the entire tournament, man. If you guys remember, during the pandemic, when Shane Thorne was on Monday Night Raw and MVP was looking for clients, Duke Hudson was on Monday Night Raw. He actually got some shine on Monday Night Raw during those Performance Center shows. So he was teaming with Shane Thorne in this Australian-like tag team that was being courted by MVP on Monday Night Raw. I believe they actually got a win over Cedric Alexander and Ricochet, if I'm not mistaken. And to me, from what I read then, WWE and Vince McMahon was actually very high on Duke Hudson. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do in this tournament, and he's going to be my odds-on favorite to win the whole thing. Carmelo Hayes, we know how good he is. Trey Baxter, he's good. He's good, but I don't think he's going to win this tournament. Andre Chase is another one that I'm very interested in seeing. Josh Briggs, Ikeman, Hero, Joe Gacy, Odyssey Jones, and Duke Hudson. That's my guy right there. And we got next Tuesday, Hudson's in the first round match. Ikeman Hero versus Hudson is next week's match. I think he should take care of this guy pretty easily next week on NXT. I'm very much looking forward. That is Brendan Vink. Jacob Donnelly. Yes, you are correct, my friend. That is, if you guys remember, Brendan Vink. And I like the name Duke Hudson a lot better, man. It's got a nice ring to it. Duke Hudson. Sounds powerful. So we'll see what happens next week, man. Very excited to see the Breakout tournament. I'm glad that they're doing it. It gives me a reason to watch, man. You don't know how tournaments really build up, guys. It is such a great way to build talent, man. I love tournaments. I really do. And I'm looking forward to this very much. Zoey Stark and Io Shirai. They are the challengers to the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. Candice LeRae and Indi Hartwell. This was a very good match as well. I got to shout out Indi, man. I got to shout out Indi. She had the Razor Ramon-inspired gear, and I'm not sure if you guys picked up on Candice. Candice had the 1-2-3 Kid-inspired gear. So I loved Indi's look and ring gear, man. That was awesome. So shout out to the throwbacks there of the old school 1-2-3 Kid and Razor Ramon colors. So Shirai, she was on fire early on. Stark, she was on fire early on. We go to a commercial break right away. And then the heels take control. So we got heat on Stark. So we got heat on Zoey Stark. Hot tag eventually to Shirai. She went at it with LeRae, who is pretty much her arch nemesis in NXT. If you guys remember that TakeOver Brooklyn match that they had, one of the best women's matches that WWE has produced in this revolution. Unbelievable what these two can do in the ring one-on-one. Love it. So they went at each other, and they are so good together. Stark and Shirai with double team moves. Stark looked strong in this match. She looked like she could stand next to Io and be a good partner. So Shirai went for a moonsault. She missed. LeRae applied the Gargano escape on Shirai. Hartwell then jumped in the ring to apply an Anaconda Vice, or Dexter Lumis's silence. So she applied Dexter Lumis's finishing move on Zoey Stark. So we got Io and Stark escaping both of these submissions. and LeRae is dropped with a overhand palm strike. Shirai went up again for a moonsault, but LeRae countered and suplexed Shirai off the ropes. So we got the end of the match, and we got a pinfall. I don't know who was pinned. I didn't even put it in my notes, man. I don't know who was pinned, but all I know is that the arena went dark, and we saw the Battery logo on the NXT screen on top of the stage. So the Battery that's been charging for the last 3 weeks, it's on the video screen. It went from 99 to 100%. And then you see, which was awesome. I love the effects of this thing, man. You seen the green lights shoot up the rampway until up on the stage, it said 100%, and then the lights come back on, and Teagan Nox is there. Teagan Nox is back in NXT. She is fully charged. Teagan Nox. LeRae was in the ring. I believe she might have been the one to take the pinfall. But she stood there and she was staring at Teagan Nox. Vic Joseph said it looked like Candice LeRae was looking at a ghost, because the last person that Teagan Nox saw before she went out with this injury, Candice LeRae, via storyline, was the one that injured Teagan Nox. So she's back for revenge. So the lights powered on. Teagan Nox is on the stage. LeRae was looking on. Shirai knocked LeRae out of the ring. Stark then delivered a suplex into a knee strike, and it looked brutal. And that was enough for Stark to pin Hartwell. And Io Shirai and Zoey Stark win the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. Nox ran down to the ring and brawled with LeRae after the match. LeRae fled through the timekeeper's area and out of the performance, the Capitol Wrestling Center, the WWE Performance Center, all the same shit. And they are picking up right where they left off. Dexter Lumis came to ringside, and he carried Hartwell away in his arms. So I guess we can assume that Dexter Lumis got laid. That's all I'm going to say there. He saves the woman and picks her up and takes her to safety, and that's it. Dexter Lumis, the ladies' man, carries Indi Hartwell away. This was a good match, and I'm glad Teagan Nox is back. I don't know where they're going with the Women's Tag Team Championships, man. You know, if Shotzi gets called up, where does that leave Ember? She got no more tag team partner. You got Io and Zoey Stark as your new tag team champions. We got Raquel and Dakota. I'm assuming they're the next in line for the tag team title shot, which I do think is going to happen. And then from that, we're going to get Raquel and Dakota kind of teasing a split. And I think going into TakeOver, we're going to get Raquel versus Dakota for the NXT Women's Championship. So if that is the natural progression of things, where are we going with the Women's Tag Team Championships? Are Io and Zoey Stark going to have any heel teams to feud against? Or maybe WWE just decides, you know what? Maybe we give Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter a shot at the tag team titles, and we have them win the tag team championships. Because I can't think of any other team. If this is the natural progression of things, there really aren't any other women's teams on NXT that you could really look at as being a viable team to win those titles. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they got going on there. But Io is safe for now, thank God. I don't know who I would be worried about more, man. Adam Cole or Io Shirai. Karrion Kross or Bronson Reed, man. I don't want any of them to go. But Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard are calling. And when they call, man, when you see that 201 number, you don't want to pick up that phone, man. You don't want to pick up that phone at all. We got Hit Row. Hit Row. Isaiah Swerve Scott won the NXT North American Championship from Bronson Reed last week, which I did not agree with at all. And the reason why I didn't agree with it was because Bronson Reed was just literally getting his feet wet. Just literally getting his feet wet. Why would you take the title of Bronson Reed when he's got so many opponents to feud with? Johnny, Pete Dunne, Ciampa, Lumis, Swerve, Escobar. He had a whole plethora of opponents to feud with, man. But they opted to take the title off of the babyface, who has a lot of heel opponents lined up and ready to challenge him for that North American title, to put it on a heel in an unadvertised match because Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon want big boy colossal Bronson Reed on the main roster when we know for a fact they don't need Bronson Reed. So Isaiah Swerve Scott, he's the new NXT North American champion, and we got what they were calling Hit Row's Championship Cypher. Now, if you guys expected me to write down the lyrics of everybody rapping here, you are sadly mistaken, man. I barely understood a fucking word anybody was saying here, but I thoroughly enjoyed what was coming out of this Championship Cypher. There's one thing that came from this Cypher, man. It was, holy shit, is Triple H going all in? No pun intended there. All in on Hit Row. He is going all in on Hit Row. Now, I think somebody mentioned to me on social media, I don't know how true this is, that Hit Row are desired on the main roster because of what they could do for the youthful demographic that they attract. I would not put it past Vince McMahon to do that, but they are abso-fucking-lutely not ready for the main roster. I don't even think they're ready for NXT, to be quite honest with you, after this indifferent crowd reaction. Normally, when a crowd likes something, they are going crazy. I thought this was a great performance. I thought this was a spotlight on them that, especially after Swerve winning the championship, they deserved. And NXT and Triple H and his team want to show you what the next big stable in WWE is going to be. In NXT. Hit Row. B-Fab. Top Dollar. Or what I like to call him, $0. $0. You got to get better in the ring before I start calling you Top Dollar, AJ. Okay? Ashante Adonis and Swerve is fucking great. We all know how good Swerve is. But as far as the reaction to them, it was indifference, man. And if you are a pro wrestler and you get an indifferent crowd reaction, man, that's almost like sealing your fate. It's worse than death. Give me some sort of reaction. Any type of reaction would have been better than just sitting around not knowing what type of reaction to give them. Indifference is bad. Booing, heckling, cheering, anything would have been good. Indifference is not good. So they rapped, and all of them got in their rap game. The best I could tell you, you guys know Jesse was all into this. Jesse's a big fan of Top Dollar. And AJ Francis is, he's obviously got some rap game. B-Fab's got some rap game. Isaiah Swerve Scott's got some rap game. Ashante Adonis was behind the DJ booth. He was doing his thing with the beats. So, Jesse says, solid B for B-Fab. B-Fab was a solid B. AJ Francis. I said Francis wasn't bad. Jesse says Francis had piss poor timing. He gets a C grade. And he also said Top Dollar has terrible cadence. This is coming from Jesse, by the way, my tag team partner on Wednesday night for the AEW Dynamite review. If you guys have any problems with what Jesse is saying, you can heckle him tomorrow. So I'm like laughing my ass off. What about Swerve? Swerve sounded good. He says Swerve gets a C+. He was better than that last clown. But B-Fab killed them both, he says. And then he says, I'll upgrade Francis to a B+ to give Swerve a B. I don't know what that meant, but I'm like, one thing is for sure, Triple H is all in on them. Then he says, B-Fab is easily the best rapper that they have. Swerve is very solid. AJ Francis, Top Dollar, sucks. That was it. He sucks ass, he said. So there you go. Jesse was not a big fan of Top Dollar. Got to do better, bro. Got to do better. Swerve sounded great. B-Fab sounded good. Not really my cup of tea, man. Not really my cup of tea. I tell you what, Poppy ain't my cup of tea either. But Triple H is going all in on these guys, and they're going to be the next big thing on NXT from what we saw tonight, man. But they hopefully get a better reaction next time they come out, man. That indifference is going to fucking kill them. They better hope that they don't get that shit next time they come out. Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole in the main event. Man, oh man, this was a great fucking way to close the show, man. This was an awesome main event. And I said on social media, this will seal the fate of Adam Cole. Because I thought he was losing this match for sure. But it looks like we may be going and getting another match at TakeOver. It may end up being a loser leaves town match. Loser leaves NXT match. Don't know how we get there. But Adam Cole has been spared. Baby. And that's all we can ask for. Kyle O'Reilly is a fantastic professional wrestler, man. I get the hate, and then I don't get the hate about Kyle O'Reilly. He's a great pro wrestler, man, but you're gonna need more than that if you're gonna want to advance to the main roster. I know Vince is looking for characters. What is Kyle's character? What is Adam Cole's character? That's what I'm so fucking terrified of. What is Adam Cole's character? He's a pro wrestler. He's a pro wrestler. It's not like he has a heartbreak kid gimmick like Shawn Michaels did when he split away from Marty Jannetty. Adam Cole is just a fucking top elite professional wrestler in this industry. And you should be lucky to even fucking have him. To be perfectly honest. Kyle O'Reilly is elite as well. But I cannot see Kyle O'Reilly moving on from NXT and having any sort of career on the main roster. I can't see it. I can't fucking see it. So, this match was a lot better than what we got at TakeOver during WrestleMania weekend. On night 2, that unsanctioned match, I thought that this match was better than that. I don't know why. I just felt like that match was a letdown. I think the crowd kind of killed it as well. The crowd was so much more into it. And you could see how much of a difference a crowd makes when they are into something compared to when they are not. Adam Cole's theme music is fucking atrocious, man. I can't fucking stand it. I can't stand it. Adam Cole, I don't know what the fuck we need to do, man. We should get a fucking petition of some sort started. Adam Cole needs the Undisputed Era theme music back, man. I can't even begin to it doesn't even fit him. What am I listening to? The music is fucking awful. Nothing feels the same, man. The boom doesn't feel the same. Adam Cole, baby, doesn't feel the same. But it all sounded great. It was all accentuated with the Undisputed Era music. Then I gotta get some geek. Oh, well, the Undisputed Era. You can't go backwards. You gotta have new theme music. Let me tell you something. Adam Cole was the Undisputed Era. He was. I just have to say that. I'm gonna say that every fucking time until I see them change it. He sucks with this theme music. I can't stand it. I got news on Adam Cole, man, before we get into the match. I don't want to spend too much time on the match because it was a fucking barn burner. What do you want me to say about it? Go and watch it for yourself. It's a great main event. Adam Cole, he talked about the breakup of the Undisputed Era. He was interviewed by Alex McCarthy and TalkSport. Adam Cole said this about the breakup of UE, and I quote, "It was conflicting emotions. I had been literally attached to the hip to Kyle, Bobby, and then Roddy my entire run in NXT. The moment I debuted, I was standing beside Kyle and Bobby. Everything I had known about my time in NXT was Undisputed Era. Going in a different direction was very scary. Also, it happened so fast. It wasn't this thing that we were preparing for. It was something that fell into our laps. So in other words, that is just week-to-week booking caught up to them, and they needed to do something to keep the fucking interest on the show. So they decided to break up their most popular group. That's what I interpret that as being. We had very little time to process it. Even more confirmation on what I said is true. We had very little time to process it or think about it, but looking at it now, I absolutely think it was the right call. It's never going to feel, especially when you have the chemistry we had, it's never going to feel like the perfect time. However, I do think development-wise for all of us individually, it's been really, really important. I had the time of my life in the Undisputed Era. I really, really did. But I do think it was a good call. Since the split, Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly have been feuding. Roderick Strong is on TV. We didn't see him tonight. Don't know why. Diamond Mine is his new faction with Malcolm Bivens. So that is hopefully going to be on TV next week. We did see a promo from Kushida, a vignette from Kushida's show. So he did mention them, so hopefully we'll see them next week. But Adam Cole says it was a good call to break up the Undisputed Era. I don't know, man. Looking back at it, do you think it was the right call? Roddy's got his own group. Bobby Fish isn't really going to do much of anything, man. I think Bobby Fish is the worst one out of them all. He got the short end of the stick. I don't know what he does and how they reinvent him away from Kyle O'Reilly, man. They were a great tag team. I know they're pushing Kyle as a solo, but where does Bobby Fish sit in all this? Adam Cole, clearly, if WWE has their fucking balls attached correctly, Adam Cole should go on to be a WrestleMania main event guy and be a flag bearer for this company, no question, man. If they deviate away from Adam Cole and they don't push this guy the way that everybody expects him to be pushed, I'm going to legitimately be fucking pissed, man. Adam Cole is one of the best pro wrestlers on the fucking planet. I don't know why you would not build around Adam Cole. I don't. Size means nothing. Adam Cole is one of the very best professional wrestlers on this planet. No reason why he should not be the next big thing. None. Everything that you loved about all your favorites, Adam Cole has. I don't see why everybody is so against Adam Cole because he's a vanilla midget. Only a fucking idiot would say Adam Cole's a vanilla midget. I'm sorry. What would you like out of your pro wrestlers? Braun Strowman? Speaking of the main roster, Adam Cole addressed a potential main roster call-up to Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. This is in the same interview with Alex McCarthy of TalkSport. He discussed his WWE future and said this about a potential main roster call-up. There is so much to do in NXT. I find it so flattering that there are people that want to see Adam Cole on Raw or SmackDown so badly. I don't know who those people are, but they need their fucking heads examined. But then there's another group that's like, no, I want him to stay in NXT. Right now, the possibilities of things to do, everything on all three brands feels endless for me. It just feels exciting across the board. Being able to stay in NXT, even with a 403-day reign, and being a Triple Crown winner and all that stuff, I've been with the brand for such a long time, and I've seen it grow so much that it's really fun to be a part of the process. I would love to win the NXT title again. I would love to wrestle Samoa Joe, he says. I would love the chance to wrestle Isaiah Swerve Scott. There's so many possibilities within the brand. Then, of course, with Raw and SmackDown, there's a bunch of talent that I haven't had the chance to wrestle yet, but I would love to as well. It's so exciting. But there is definitely plenty for me to do in NXT yet. By no means am I biding my time or saying, okay, I'm just waiting any day now to go to Raw or SmackDown. I do not feel that way at all. And it's not saying I don't want to go. Of course, the idea of getting to go up there and compete on those brands is very exciting to me, but I'm not dragging my feet by any means, just waiting. I'm proud of what our brand brings to the table. I love the roster. I love the crew. I love the show we bring week to week. I'm definitely proud to be in NXT. He also noted that it bothers him when people call NXT minor leagues or a developmental brand. He said, it bothers me a lot, to some extent, though. I always try to be a glass half full guy in a lot of ways. Of course, there is an aspect to NXT or the Performance Center where, of course, there is developmental. There are people who get hired with wrestling experience, with no wrestling experience, and it's the process of hopefully getting to that point where they end up on NXT television. But to say the roster of guys who are on NXT every single week as far as developmental goes, I really do believe that we are on the same level as the guys on Raw and the guys on SmackDown. He says that, and I do agree with him. I do. Because a lot of these guys on NXT, a lot of these women on NXT, I mean, they're outperforming on a week-to-week basis everybody on the main roster. Maybe not Roman Reigns, but most of these men and women are outperforming what you see on Monday and outperforming on what you see on Friday. So he's not wrong there. If he wants to say that they are a brand that needs to be equal to the main roster, I agree with him. I do. Now, they were above the main roster years ago, 3-4 years ago. There's been a hit to NXT that's sucked the passion out of it. Something seems to be missing. A spark seems to be missing somewhere. What that is and how they get that back, I don't know. I don't know what it is. But he said with guys like Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Matt Bloom, they themselves are open to admitting that they are even still learning. If those guys are open about learning, we definitely better be open to it. I've always kept that mentality. I've always kept that process. If I'm not getting better every single year, every single match, then I have to get out of it. I'm proudly developing in that sense. So he goes into detail that he's been wrestling for 13 years. He's constantly developing. He's always learning something new. He always wants to challenge himself, and that's the type of guy that I want on my roster. Someone that's always willing to learn something new and apply it. If he's not getting better every single year, why bother? What exactly are you doing? We hear so many stories of people being complacent in wrestling. Adam Cole seems to be against that. He's not one of those types of guys, which is the type of guy you want on your main roster and the type of guy you should be building around. This match with Kyle O'Reilly was awesome, man. Gonna pick it up in one of the first commercial breaks here, towards the end. They go into a picture-in-picture commercial break, and O'Reilly is on the mat. He's selling his knee. So that was the part of Kyle O'Reilly that Adam Cole was working on. Cole worked over the knee. Cole was targeting O'Reilly's knee. O'Reilly, he attacked Cole's knee, so he retaliated on his knee. Dragon screw in the ropes by O'Reilly. They traded strikes and kicks in the middle of the ring. Cole went for a running high kick. He got a near fall on Kyle O'Reilly. He was unable to connect with a Panama Sunrise. O'Reilly answered back with a series of strikes. O'Reilly blocked the super kick, catching Cole's leg. Cole then took a cradle suplex at the midsection of this match from O'Reilly. Cole kicked out. O'Reilly with a takedown. And O'Reilly tried to transition into an armbar, but Cole blocked the hold. Small package for a 2 count. Cole with a counter for a heel hook. Cole locked in a figure 4 leg lock, which we rarely see him do, but he locked in a figure 4 leg lock. O'Reilly countered to apply a heel hook, where he also hooked the other leg and wrapped his legs, Cole's legs, like a pretzel and tried to submit him. Cole managed to crawl to the bottom rope, breaking the hold. He did tease tapping out, though, but he did reach the ropes. Back and forth between O'Reilly and Cole. O'Reilly fell out of the ring. Cole executed a Panama Sunrise off the fucking apron to the floor, which should have absolutely been the end of the match. Everybody claims that, a big move like that. Everybody made a big deal about MJF doing a second rope tombstone on Sammy Guevara last Wednesday. Should have been the end of the match. A fucking Panama Sunrise to the fucking outside should have been the end of the match. Otherwise, don't do it. He did it anyway in the ring. Should have been the end of the match. Nobody should be kicking out of a fucking Canadian destroyer on the outside. Cole rolled O'Reilly back into the ring, went for a cover. He had a lackadaisical fucking cover. He didn't hook the leg. He got lazy. He wasn't thinking. And O'Reilly put his bottom foot on the rope to break up the pin following the Panama Sunrise to the floor. So they traded strikes. O'Reilly somehow is standing. Don't know how. They're trading strikes back and forth, and Cole takes a brainbuster from O'Reilly. Cole was prone on the mat. O'Reilly's going to the top rope. He jumps off with his big knee. Bombs away. Missed. Cole rolled out of the way. O'Reilly crashed. Cole delivered a last shot. I thought this was fucking it. Soon as he missed the knee drop off the top rope and O'Reilly was in a prone position, Cole went for the last shot. He went for the cover. I thought this was it. Panama Sunrise on the outside. He misses his finishing move, does O'Reilly. He gets hit with a last shot, which is Adam Cole's other finishing move. Still kicks out. I thought that was it. 2 3/4, man. Couldn't get any closer. Cole went for another Panama Sunrise. O'Reilly blocked it with a knee strike. O'Reilly delivered a strike with his injured knee that Cole worked over. Cole executed the Panama Sunrise. Then he finally hit another last shot. Cole went on to cover O'Reilly and finally get the pinfall. 2 Panama Sunrises and 2 last shots later, he finally pins Kyle O'Reilly. How they get another third and deciding match out of this, I don't know, but both guys are now 1-1. Something's going to happen. These guys are going to have another match at TakeOver. How we get to that, I don't know. What it's built out of, I don't know. Adam Cole won this one clean. But I guess they're going to go and challenge each other because nobody in this feud can really say that they are better than the other because they now have 1 win over each other. It's tied 1-1. They need a third and deciding match, which I'm assuming will happen SummerSlam weekend. But that was a great main event. That was a great match. Adam Cole, Bay, is spared from being Bruce Pritchard's newest bitch on the main roster. So thank God for that. But that was a great main event, man. Much better than that TakeOver match by a country mile. It was better than that TakeOver stand and deliver match. I got one other story on Samoa Joe, man. Samoa Joe says he's absolutely, and I mentioned Samoa Joe because Adam Cole mentioned that he wants to wrestle Samoa Joe. So if Adam Cole stays in NXT, Samoa Joe may be one of his first opponents. So Samoa Joe was speaking on a podcast that I will not mention on Fox Sports. You know the host is an emo fuck with a terrible looking haircut who likes to stalk porn stars in Whole Foods while shopping for organic asparagus. I will not mention this geek's name because he's a complete fucking pussy bitch. You know who he is. Go get a better fucking barber, you fucking clown. Okay? So, Samoa Joe was talking about his release and his NXT return to this geek. He started out by talking about how he was sending out various messages to people he was close with in WWE and how he enjoyed working with them shortly after learning of his release. This led to a brief conversation with Triple H a few hours after being released that eventually led him to coming back to NXT. So it was not even a couple hours after he was released. Triple H was on the phone with Joe right away to come back. He then revealed his behind-the-scenes role with the company in addition to his on-screen role as enforcer for William Regal. So, at the end of all of this, he said that he is absolutely working towards an in-ring return, but they opted to put him in this role for now, before they even ventured down that road. But he is absolutely not closing the door on an in-ring return. So he will be in the ring again. Against who? I don't know. When? I don't know. But it will be for NXT, and it will be great. Guys, that is your NXT review, man. I hope you enjoyed what you heard here today. Super chats are open. We're going to be going over them in just a little bit. Not much in the way of super chats, but I appreciate you guys, regardless, hanging out inside the OTS venue on Tuesday night for the Great American Bash post show. If you guys want to get in on the super chats, man, please get them on in. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206. That's Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Go check out my sponsor for today's show, man. Believe me. I know there are many sponsors in the OTS family, man, but Homage is awesome. The quality of their t-shirts is so great, man, and they got a ton of wrestling t-shirts on there. So if you guys use code SCRIPT, you could save 20% off. Go get yourself a retro vintage tee, man. There is plenty of summer left. Go and get yours today. Homage, HOMAGE.com. Use code SCRIPT at checkout. We're going to be promoting them throughout the summer, man. I want to thank them for being a part of the OTS family. And go check out today's Off the Script Extra, man. Jimmy Uso arrested. OTS Extra talking about him, the DUI, and what WWE is thinking about this current situation with Jimmy Uso. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. And I want to thank you guys for sending in these super chats. Right up the top, man. Wildfire. $4.99 super chat. I'm enjoying Hit Row while we have them because ain't no way Vince is going to keep them together. This company loves breaking up tag teams and groups. Shaking my head. Bro, they ain't going anywhere. They are not going anywhere, man. They're just getting started. AJ Francis is as green as a top dollar. Seriously. He isn't good at all. They got a lot to learn in NXT. Swerve is obviously the most experienced of them all. But they ain't going anywhere, and Vince is going to be looking for more of a guy like Karrion Kross and maybe more potential characters for WWE main roster. That was the going rumor. How that stands up today, I don't know. But I think Vince has it already in his mind who he wants for the main roster. Also, Furious Nation, thank you so much, brother, for the super chats. We got 3 $5 super chats from Furious Nation. He says, what's up, JD? Good show with NXT. Great American Bash tonight. Can't wait for the Breakout tournament. Do you miss the Mae Young Classic? I do. And I do think the Mae Young Classic needs to make a return to the WWE. I do think WWE needs to put a focus on women's wrestling again because they've clearly deviated away from that on the main roster. It's not good at all right now, man. It's some of the worst shit on television in all of pro wrestling, that WWE main roster women's division. Bayley is the only shining beacon of hope. And Sasha Banks, but she's been off TV since WrestleMania. If the Mae Young Classic returned, which WWE alumni released woman would you book to have in the tournament? Nobody. I would not have anybody in the tournament. 32 women that you've never heard of before. Really sad to hear about what happened with Jimmy Uso earlier today. He really needs some help ASAP, man. Can only imagine what Roman's feeling now. I can only imagine what the family's going through now. I can only imagine what WWE is going through now, man. He let a lot of people down. He really did. I don't know why things like this happen, but anything that's happening on TV with Jimmy Uso right now is not really all that important. The most important thing is that he gets help. He goes to rehab. WWE steps in and does the right thing. And his health gets back on track, man. You know, I mentioned this today. There are people in my life that are going through the same thing. It's a disease. Alcoholism is a disease, man. One of the questions that I raised was, we don't really know what's happening behind the scenes with Jimmy Uso. You know, how many times has he done it and got away with it? You know, he's been arrested 4 or 5 different times on the same fucking charge. DUIs, drunk driving, losing his license. Every time he's done it, you know, he's gotten caught. I mean, that's just, the odds of that happening are 0. How many times has he done it and not gotten caught? And who was with him while he was intoxicated this badly and let him get behind the wheel of a car? Did anybody step in? It's just very weird, man. Marcus Thomas with a $5 super chat. Just 1 year ago, Keith Lee was the first NXT double champion. What a shame. 5 years from now, Dark Side of the Ring, NXT call-ups. Overall, great show. Keith Lee, man. I don't know what's going on with Keith Lee. I really don't. WWE wants to call up Bronson Reed, but they got a guy just as good, if not better than Bronson Reed, in Keith Lee. That's why I don't get the excitement about Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed has a lot more to give NXT. There's a lot more that he needs to learn. You're throwing him right into the fire. Right into the mid-card fire, man. Look what they're doing with Damian Priest. Damian Priest has no fucking relevancy on the main roster yet. He was in one of the biggest storylines going into WrestleMania with Bad Bunny, and you didn't follow that up with Priest being on television? What a shame. A real fucking shame. Jacob Donnelly with a $5 super chat. Just 1 year ago, Keith Lee was the... No, actually, no, that's Marcus's. I'm sorry. Think it's about time for MSK to turn heel, he says. Not really sure why, but they've been booed ever since they came to NXT. Well, Jacob, I talked about this in the beginning of the show. I know you were here for that. Part of me also wants to say, like I mentioned before, I think the fans of this brand and the fans that are in the CWC, I think they know when a tag team is getting pushed too hard, too fast. When somebody from the brand is being shoved in your face, you might not like it. You might not deem them the guys you want to see. So, I think the fans there know what they want to see. And I thought they were ready for a title change tonight. Tony Brown with a $4.99 super chat. JD, Jimmy was just getting pushed. Now this. Wow. He should have been taken to an Uber. Now he's got Vince issues. He's got more than just Vince issues, man. He may lose his fucking job. He may lose his fucking job, bro. And Kenley Pierre with a $4.99 super chat. Sasha or Jacqueline or Jazz, he says. Sasha. Not even a fucking debate. Hula Grim with a $20 super chat. Thank you, Hula Grim. Fuck those other guys. You are the king of the mountain. Up in this biatch, he says. Hula Grim, thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much, man. You are too kind, my brother. Guys, I am about to get out of here, man. I got to set up tomorrow's festivities. I'll be live on YouTube tomorrow afternoon if there's no more DUI arrests on the WWE roster. I don't know what I'm going to play tomorrow, man, on the second channel. I'm thinking Battlefield. What are we playing? Battlefield 5 or Battlefield 1, man? I heard Battlefield 1 is better than Battlefield 5. I don't have Battlefield 4, otherwise I'd play that one, but we gotta get ourselves ready for Battlefield 2042, man, coming out in October. So what are we playing? I don't know. I may download it and try it out. Kenley Pierre, $2.99. Why you say that, JD? Because Sasha is the boss. She's the best female wrestler on the main roster. Well, thank you guys so much, man. Hit that thumbs up. We are 25 away from 500, man. A nice, lofty, soft, low goal. If you guys have not hit that thumbs up, please hit that thumbs up. Make sure you guys follow me on social media. At JD from NY206 on Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Go and check out all the other videos that you might have missed. And check out Homage.com. HOMAGE. Go get your retro vintage t-shirts, man. 20% off. Use code SCRIPT. Guys, thank you so much for a great NXT review. I will be back next week. Kross, Gargano, NXT title. We're going to talk about it as Kross is on his way to Bruce's doghouse. But before I get in the Mustang, guys, and hit the highway, I need two things from you. Number one, I need to see those guitar emojis in the chat. And number two, that music you're listening to right now, I need it on max. I'll see you guys tomorrow night with Jesse. Dynamite in Miami. Road Rager. It's going to be great. See you guys tomorrow night.